Good evening. Welcome to another program here on ShuraTV on our health segments or health show. I hope you've been having a good day. Today we had a little bit of an issue, so we had the show this evening rather than in the morning. Today's February 23rd, Tuesday, 2021. The topic of today's show is going to be fasting and also intermittent fasting. And a little bit of information about that we'll get into. But initially, fasting has been something that has been utilized for centuries by human beings in terms of trying to maintain a healthy standard of living in terms of their biological bodies. And what we wanted to focus on is the first, where did fasting come from? Why is fasting so good, and has it become prominent now? So, originally fasting, I think the origins of it is basically the three monotheistic religions, Islam, Christianity, Judaism. They all have different prescribed fasting measures for their followers. And with Judaism, I think they have a holiday called Yom Kippur, and during that time, everyone is told to fast for a period of 24 hours, and they abstain from drink, from food, from everything for 24 hours straight. That's with Yom Kippur and Judaism. With Christianity, right now we're in the season of Lent. People start fasting, and they usually, what I've found is I've had friends and colleagues that fast from one thing. Like, for example, they'll say, we're fasting from chocolate, or we're fasting from meat, or red meat, or lamb meat, or beef, or chicken, whatever it is. They pick something and they fast for the 40 days until Easter, and until the Thursday before Easter, I think. And they started from, right before Ash Wednesday. So these things have been, instituted, I think, religiously. And in Islam, of course, they have a whole month of Ramadan, which is fasting. And, they abstain from drink and food from sunrise to sunset. And that's something that is done, once a year in the Islamic calendar. And the month of Ramadan, it's a 30-day period. So 1 month a year, Muslims are fasting. And again, the purpose and the intent of fasting, if you've read about the different prophets, and you see that they fasted, and it's something which has been present in historically among human beings in different cultures, and now it's become very trendy. People are fasting because of their health, not only religious reasons, but health reasons. And lately, we have the trend of intermittent fasting for your health, where people utilize it to control their body weight and to, in general, have good energy. And also, they have this period of eating, which is about an 8-hour period. According, if you look at this diagram we have, and in 16 hours they fast, which includes your sleep cycle as well. So this is something which has been promoted, and historically people fast because of to increase their willpower, their stamina, and they want to kind of neglect or overlook and release something that they don't need in their life. So they want to exhibit and strengthen their willpower. So that's what they do. But now we have a lot of people that are just a-religious or spiritual, they call themselves, but they tend to want to utilize the benefits of fasting. And fasting, typically now with intermittent fasting, it's one of the advantages of it is that people, they go into the fasting cycle, and there's no restriction on what you can and cannot eat. So people who diet, they restrict themselves from everything, and then they have that period of eating and they tend to eat less, and they have a choice of foods. There's no keto fasting. There's no flexitarian diet fasting, or plant and herbs and only fasting. There's nothing like that. The program typically has you eat a balanced meal, and you eat your meals for 8 hours. And some of the benefits here that have been researched. The first one is cellular repair. So when you fast, you give your body that time to really get rid of that oxidative stress, what they call in the scientific fields, where your body's getting stressed. When it gets stressed, what happens? It needs time to repair. And when you fast, when you're not eating, that repair takes place. And you're getting rid of all your cellular wastes in your body, and you're recycling that. And that's the cellular repair. And then, of course, a lot of people are overweight because of their insulin resistance. So what this does is this decreases that insulin that's being shot out from your pancreas every time you're eating. So this decreases the levels of insulin. And when that happens, your weight loss goals will get achieved when you decrease the insulin levels. And then also in general, there's been research that shows that when you fast, typically you're reducing your risk of disease, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, different neurological diseases that happen. These things all decrease in terms of its percentages and its incidence in people who fast regularly. And when I say regularly, the recommendation according to the white papers is at least twice a week. 2 times a week, your body needs to feel that hunger and feel that, be in that fasting state, so these things happen. And then the other thing is that studies have found that autophagy, right? Automatically, this is when all the viruses, bacteria, and microbes in your body are getting destroyed. This happens during fasting as well. So when you fast, the body starts that internal cleaning system. So it gets rid of all these things, which is very beneficial for your body and for your health. It's sort of a rejuvenation. You can call it a detox, for lack of a better term. And that helps. And that also has a neurocognitive protection, because it enhances the well-being of the mind, and it protects the brain from getting damaged. So things like Alzheimer's and things like Parkinson's, these things fasting protects you from. So that's very good. And of course, the obvious one is weight loss. Weight loss is something which everyone's trying to lose weight, especially now post-pandemic, or during the pandemic now. People are trying to lose weight, and this helps because when you fast, there's a release of norepinephrine, and this increased release increases your metabolism, and you're burning more fat. You're burning fat. So that's something which is very, very beneficial. And so the paper again, the papers suggest, twice a week, if you have your body in the state of fasting, then it gives you the optimal benefits twice a week at least. So some people religiously, if you're Muslim, you're fasting Mondays and Thursdays as a extra obligatory, a voluntary fast. People do it all over the Muslim world. They fast on Mondays and Thursdays. And not only are they getting a religious benefit, but they're also, putting their bodies twice a week through this state where it generally should lead them to being more healthy in the long term, and it's better control of their weight. So it's encouraged. Typically nowadays, a lot of the diet plans that people fail on is because of the type of food or the regimen or the huge reduction in calories. But with fasting, you can have a limited amount of calories in terms of sustaining your body, but you doing the fasting twice a week already puts it in a deficit. So you are going to go in a deficit as long as you're not, having a 5-course meal when you're eating or breaking your fast. That's the important thing to keep in mind to get the full benefits. So that's very important, and I think that is something which is remarkable nowadays. At the University of Southern California, they did the research on fasting, and a major benefit of fasting was that in terms of the rejuvenation and the detoxification of the body, fasting also stimulates dormant stem cells. So dormant stem cells are stem cells that are responsible for the regeneration of your tissues, your skin, your blood system, your heart, your lungs, all your organs. All these things get regenerated, right? These cells are in a flux. The human body is a wonderful thing, right? It's always regenerating. It's always trying to limit the number of cells and balance that. And once that balance happens, it's the stem cells that actually replenish the nerves, the blood vessels, the organs, the heart, the kidneys, the lungs, all the minutiae and detailed cells that are in the body, they get replenished and regenerated by those stem cells. And at USC, you could Google it, USC stem cell study. If you Google that, you'll see that they have illustrated that this fasting stimulates your dormant stem cells. Meaning, what does this mean? This means that, fasting not only helps you, have that energy, decrease disease and all that, but it also helps you with anti-aging and also with that stimulation of the stem cells, which gives you more longevity with life in itself. So that's great. People are traveling the world over to get stem cells and to get rejuvenation and detox and find the fountain of youth. But just with this simple act and this simple intermittent fasting protocol, one can achieve that if one sticks to the protocol and continues. This is a great tool to have when we're looking and trying to become more healthier individuals. I think intermittent fasting is a gem to have, and it's something which sort of was a secret before in terms of its health benefits, but now and more often you'll see in the news, in the media, and if you look up those studies, you'll see that the benefits are immense, and over a lifetime, the benefits can be life-saving, if not anything else. So it's very important to keep that in mind. And if you are considering a diet program, or if you're someone that has done yo-yo dieting and you haven't been that successful, then intermittent fasting might be something for you to consider. It's not that difficult, and it's it's typically let's go through a scheduled day of an intermittent faster. So basically, many people will start the day. You get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, right? So during that sleep time, you are fasting technically, because you're not taking any new food in. There's no insulin levels that are getting better and that are going up and down. Your insulin is stable, and once you wake up, if you continue to not eat for another 4 to 6 hours, that'll give you 14 to 16 hours of a fast. So once you have that 14 to 16 hours of the fast, then you can break your fast. When you break the fast, then you have a 6 to 8 hour period again to eat healthy and normal foods that your body craves. You take that in, you eat, whether it's something which is, the recommendation is for it to be a balanced day, not something where you're taking high fats or low carbs, etc. No, the normal, plate of any healthy diet is that, it has, 1/4 portion, good proteins, another fourth, maybe some carbs, and then the rest should be vegetables and fruits and things like that, the other half. And that would be balanced. And then, of course, you wouldn't take any sugary drinks or anything like that, obviously, but you would, maybe natural juices from fruit and vegetables, and then also, water. We don't want any sweetened or artificially sweetened liquids, because those are, over the period of time, over long term, they're detrimental to health. So we don't want those. But you would take that, and then if you continue that, and then the next day you wouldn't fast. You would have your normal day. And then the second day you would have the normal day as well. And then another third day, maybe 2 days afterwards, you can do another intermittent fasting day. And that would also get you, maybe if in a 7-day period, if you're doing, maybe the second day and then the fourth day, then that's spaced out pretty evenly. If you can do that and balance it out and have your body in that regulatory phase on, day 2 and then day 4, that would balance out the benefits, I think. I don't think it's wise to do it back to back, because you don't want to starve your body. But if you can do it, 2 to 4 with 2 to 3 days in between, I think that gives you the optimal benefits of intermittent fasting. So there's a lot of information out there. It's important to kind of keep in mind where you get your information from and what are the best sources. There's a lot of people that have written things on intermittent fasting, but I would encourage you to go to sources of information which have cross-referencing, and they cite proper studies that have been done, and that they're not some off-the-wall site that nobody's ever heard of. So we want to keep our information correct and current. So to do that, we have to kind of look at the sources where we get the information from. Again, the University of Southern California, they have a very good study on the benefits of fasting, and also they get into the benefits of the stem cells which become active during fasting, and that helps with regeneration and anti-aging and disease prevention. Those are the 3 main categories that they discuss. I think if you Google that at USC, USC fasting study or USC stem cell study, you'll get that. And from then they would have links to all the benefits of fasting, and then also the protocols. If you guys need specific protocols on how to start intermittent fasting, I would encourage you to first discuss it with your primary care doctor, because you might have conditions like diabetes or heart disease or any kind of autoimmune dysfunction or any other situations in your health and in your body that your doctor would be well aware of. So I encourage you always to discuss with your doctor your plans, and then to start these types of programs where in the long run it'll benefit not only your physical health, but also your mental health. People who do the intermittent fasting and who regularly fast usually describe a positive mental state, a high energy level, and the research shows lower rates of anxiety and depressive modes or moods. So that's something where you can benefit from, and if you do the research, it will help you decipher exactly which plan to follow. Also, another benefit of the intermittent fasting was hormone balancing, which I didn't mention. And a lot of evidence indicates that You know, a lot of people, especially with men, it's usually testosterone that drops every decade of life by at least 10%. And then with the women, of course, it's the estrogen and progesterone cycle that fluctuates and causes certain issues in the body. A lot of people have hot flashes and things like that. But intermittent fasting has been indicated that it does maintain normal hormone balance in the body, and it promotes general hormonal health, which is something which is very beneficial for everyone to consider. The other issue is that I mentioned the neurodegenerative diseases and also the human growth hormone and insulin levels. The HGH increases naturally and insulin drops, and insulin resistance drops. And in general, you'll have lower blood sugar levels. So you get a lot of benefits, and it's very important to keep that in mind. And I think if you want any further information on this topic, you can email us or you can comment on the comment section of this video, and we can get you the information that you need. With that, I think that's all we have to say about intermittent fasting. I wish you a pleasant evening, and I hope we can see you again on our next show. Thank you for watching, and have a great night.